Hey guys, and welcome back to my Let's Play of Sonic the Hedgehog 2006 for the PlayStation 3. So now that we've shown off the extra stuff, guys, it is finally time we end this thing. We're 58 videos in, and this is all that stands between us and the end. Yeah, apart from multiplayer, but that's for another time. So I think it is finally time that we put an end to this. So let us begin the final story. I'm sorry, last episode.
Sonic! Sonic!
Yes, Iblis. Don't cry. No matter what happens.
Oh, no.
Finally, the seal is broken. At long last, I'll be able to join with you. Iblis! Now, Chaos Emerald. It's time for the final curtain call.
What is this?
Where are we? What's going on?
Is this because of that light?
The Chaos Emerald has disappeared.
Silver?
What are you doing here? This is all so confusing.
It's all because of Solaris.
It seems we were all caught by the spatial distortion. Iblis's seal has been broken. Due to Mephiles' manipulation.
Sonic? No. You don't think...
Sonic!
Mephiles played us all for fools. His plan all along was to cause the princess to be so consumed with despair that she'd cry.
So that's why he wanted me to kill Sonic before. Solaris!
This creature will consume all existing timelines, and time itself will collapse and disappear into nothingness.
The instability of time caused this time-space rift.
It won't remain for much longer.
We've no time to waste! We've got to defeat it now!
No, it is a transcendent life form that exists in the past, present, and future. Defeating it here, now, would do nothing.
No, I won't give up. There has to be a way. If you say it exists in the past, present, and future, I'll destroy them all at once! Certainly. It might have been possible if he was still alive.
Sonic! Sonic!
Sonic,
What's the matter?
I feel Sonic's presence in the wind. I don't think he's dead yet. I'm sure of it. It's not too late.
Of course! Let's call him back with the power of the Chaos Emeralds! Focus your thoughts on using its power to perform this miracle. You can do it, Princess!
I can?
You were the vessel that was used to seal Iblis. You should be able to use the gem's power to rescue Sonic's soul.
I'll do it.
Solaris flung the Chaos Emeralds to the distant corners of this distorted world.
To collect them all in time, we'll have to split up. I'll go too. Because it's for Sonic. So Elise, watch over him.
Well, I've no idea where Knuckles was going at the moment there, but there are a few things that I have to say about that cutscene. But just before we do that, end of the world as we know it, and I feel fine. So, you know, even though I've never played it, I've seen playthroughs of Kingdom Hearts, and, well, the last stage in Kingdom Hearts is called End of the World. It's purple, and it has you revisiting stages that you've already been to, so, yeah. Similar to that, but obviously its main reference here is Canon Score from Sonic Adventure 2, in that you're going to be playing as all the characters, and you're going, this time though, you're going through stages you've already been to, so this technically isn't the 10th level, as far as I'm concerned. It's just a rehash of levels you've already been to. You're not going to be in them for very long, with maybe 2 exceptions. But of all the final levels in Sonic games, this is the worst. And it's all because of those eyeball things. So, I'm not really sure what they're called, like the Eyes of Solaris or something like that. They are eyes, because they do have like a slit-shaped pupil, and that does follow you as the characters move around. You have Solaris monsters everywhere who the eye things can defeat, and these eye things come in 2 colours. You have the Mephiles ones and the Iblis ones. Iblis ones shoot things at you and are deadly accurate with it. But they are nothing compared to the purple ones that suck everything in, including enemies, obstacles that can potentially get in your way when they're being dragged towards it, any dropped rings, crates, and the characters themselves. So they are by far the most dangerous thing in the game, I'd say. And the problem is that compared to the much safer purple ones, sorry, the much safer orange ones, purple ones are absolutely everywhere, and many of them are in very annoying places. The slower the character, the harder time they have getting away from these things. And when you're trying to do stuff like jumping, it becomes nearly impossible. But yeah, they do tend to make the enemies just go away by themselves, which is odd. So I don't know why this one isn't going away. If this thingy-majig or not. I still don't know why he isn't going away. Or he didn't go away. So with Tails we went through Crisis City. With Omega we're going through Flame Core. Radical Train, much like multiplayer, still gets no love, and there's no aquatic base, because although there's 9 stages, we only have 7 characters. Blaze is in another dimension. Sonic, as we've seen, is dead. So they don't get any time in the spotlight here. So Blaze doesn't get any time in the spotlight in the last story whatsoever. Unlike Sonic, because you know, Sonic Rush this is not. Yeah, these things are like, these Solaris monsters are nowhere near the portals. I don't know why they're getting killed from it, but I don't really have any complaints. It's just making my life easier, except that it is reducing my score. It's not reducing it, but it's stopping me from actually getting a high score. Because the S rank on this is pretty tight. You have to be quick, and you have to try and get as many points as you can. Unfortunately, this level is also pretty difficult, thanks to those Eyes of Solaris things. Now, for the most part, because of your character's abilities, whether they're intended or not, you can actually breeze through these levels pretty quickly, with, I'd say Silver definitely, Shadow, and Amy being the exceptions. Makes sense, they're the later 3. Except for Rouge. Silver has by far the hardest time, and funnily enough it's in Dusty Desert. Who would have thought? And it's mostly just because of these things, but as well as the fact that they also have the longest times in any of these stages. Unfortunately, while I can go through this level pretty quickly, I have 1, or rather 10 things in my way, because End of the World also has silver medals. Now at first it's only 1 per character, but that will later become 2 per character. There's still 10 of them, and thankfully most of them are pretty straightforward in terms of how you get to them. So they're really not that much of an issue, with the exception of a couple. Mainly in Shadow's section of End of the World. Makes sense, they are potentially the last 2 silver medals you get in the game. Well, really, since you can replay levels, any of them could be the last 2. But, you know, it's supposed to be the hardest stage. Shadow's the last one you play as. It makes sense that his are among the most difficult to get. I mean, they're not like the one in the shadows solely on a forest. That one was a nightmare. Thankfully, we have chaos control. Ow! Oh yeah, the red ones do disappear over time. No! And there goes the S rank. Well, I'm not getting that on the final playthrough. It's a sad ending. I was hoping that we could get that last gold medal for S ranking the final stage, although we still have the one for the boss fight. Yeah, that's why this level's a pain, because those things can just suddenly appear, and you can never really know where they're going to appear. I mean, they are set locations, but you pretty much have to know the stage off by heart in order to know where they are actually going to appear, because a lot of the time they're going to be off camera. I mean, it's not so bad when you're in a wide open area, because there's like a flash that lets you know where they're going to appear. But a lot of the time you can't see that. And again, the slower the character, the harder the time they have getting away from it. Silver particularly suffers from it. Now the thing about Dusty Desert with Silver is that you actually have to put effort into this. And it doesn't help when you're trying to, you know, you have these purple ones that are constantly trying to suck you in, so you can barely get any speed, and then that just means that you're an open target for anything being shot out of the orange ones. So you're practically a sitting duck. And this part right here, this is where it gets really, really close. This is the worst part right here. I'm not sure if I could say it's the worst part of the entire stage, but it's definitely the worst part for Silver. This is pretty much half of End of the World right here. Because Silver's section is pretty long, and there's no way you can just breeze right through it like you can with most of the other characters. And I will say though, End of the World, as basic as its music track really is, it's supposed to just do 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 do. As basic as it is, as they start to change the background music to it, you know, background music to background music, it gets really good. You know, even though it's pretty repetitive, as they add the backgrounds and change the backgrounds, the bass, I guess you could say, it gets really good. And yeah, the enemy placement can also get pretty cheap, especially for some of the later characters. And you really have to be fast here. I'm failing to do that, because there's one right here. And now, that's not good, because they like to give you the most awkwardly placed of those Solaris eye things in the entire stage. Maybe not the most awkward, but their cores are exposed. Why can't I stun them? But yeah, sometimes their placements can be quite horrible. Very difficult to avoid. We're finally done with Silver's. He's got that damn 4th Chaos Emerald. So we can finally move on to something a bit easier. Now, in terms of story, there's a few questions I have here. Firstly, why, I think I asked this before, but why didn't Mephiles just travel back to when he and Iblis were separated and deal with him there? Why did he need him to be released from Elise? Is there a reason he couldn't just do it when Iblis was freed in the future? Did he evolve too much? It's never explained. Secondly, what the hell was Eggman doing with his glasses? And thirdly, why didn't Mephiles just do that to Sonic in the first place? Why did he need Silver to go after him? Because it's not like Silver has any impact on Sonic's story. You know, Sonic encounters Silver 3 times, which really doesn't mean anything. So I don't know why Mephiles didn't just go and do that in the first place. Apparently he can also make the Chaos Emeralds teleport to each other. So again, why doesn't he just take advantage of this earlier? Yeah, compared to Silver, Rouge is a breeze. Yeah, because she can glide. By the way, her opening voice clip is exactly the same as Knuckles. But the Chaos Emeralds, where are they? In fact, her closing one is as well. They just ran out of ideas for their lines here. Also, why does Shadow say that destroying time, past, present, and future at the same time would only be possible if Sonic was alive. You got all these other characters. Why can't they use super form? The exception of, I can understand maybe Omega not being able to do it. He's a robot, but why can't the other characters? I mean, we've seen, yeah, naturally, Tails and Knuckles in their super forms don't technically hover. Unless you go by whatever it is they're using in Sonic Heroes. Come on, let me get at least some of those rings. But is Heroes really technically a super form? It's more like half a super form. I think I've sometimes seen it as like semi-Super Tails or semi-Super Knuckles. But surely at least one of the other characters could have used the Chaos Emeralds and, you know, defeat Solaris. Then the game is called Sonic the Hedgehog, and I guess they still have to bring Sonic back to life, although they could have easily have done that. I mean, they still have to grab the Chaos Emeralds anyway. So, I guess it doesn't really make that much of a difference. Yeah, I don't know why I'm wasting my time here. I spent probably a bit too long on the stage anyway, and I died. Yeah, Amy has a really hard time killing these guys. What I want to know is why a door that's in Eggman's base requires you to defeat Solaris monsters in order to open. Granted, it's not the only stage where this is the case. Pretty much anything that was like a base to Eggman where you instead fight Solaris monsters in another story will make you ask that question. Oh, yeah, I was just about to ask where they are. Yeah, Amy's is still pretty easy despite her slow speed. You'd think she'd pick up the pace, but apparently not. And they do actually play, I think they do it in one of the earlier ones as well. They play like a sad rendition of His World in the background, in addition to the regular music. Again, basic as it is, I do like End of the World's music. Sadly, I can't say the same for the stage itself. Like, I'll take Eggman Land over this. I mean, they both take roughly the same amount of time to do. You have about 10 minutes playing and you have all the loading screens. It doesn't quite take as long as Eggman Land does, which normally takes me about 20-25 minutes. And as difficult as Eggman Land is, I think it's easier than this. Look, that didn't even hit me. I clearly did not get hit by that. And why isn't this eagle affected by anything? But why is this eagle still hit? It's like, conveniently, all of the other characters didn't disappear when no one else was around in that void. Don't know where everyone else was, but for some reason, all of these other characters were still around, including Elise and Sonic. Everyone was still there. Ugh, see, look, like that. That is the worst placement for that. And then you have stuff like that where the spring is pretty much going to kill you. Ugh. I hate the placements of these Eye of Solaris things, whatever they're called. I don't care what they're called. They're either deadly accurate like that, or they're the purple ones. A lot of people really hate this stage. This is where they either are tempted, or they actually do put the game down and just stop playing. I mean, part of me says I don't blame them, and another part of me says, well look, you've come this far. Why stop when it's the last level of the game and all you have is one boss fight after this? Oh look, you didn't suck me in that time. Right. Jump down here, hit the spring, it launches you up here, grabs the medal. Now you can't really just get back like that, so you do have to do a bit of backtracking. You can get these medals in the other way as well. You can go for the one I'm going for now first. That requires a bit more backtracking. Oh, yeah, you can home use at those. Yeah, those things will temporarily deactivate the Eyes of Solaris. I don't know where those things were before. They only randomly appear now, but yeah, they will temporarily deactivate the eyes. Don't last as long as I wish they could though. And, right, it's the last silver medal, and it has real pain in the ass eye thing right here. Right next to this grind rail. You gotta hit this thing twice. Get onto the rail, get onto the rail. And there we go, that should be the last silver medal of the game. This thing again. And that should take us to the final stage. I want these. Don't ask me why, I just want these. I can't pick them up for some reason. Shadow, go. It's this damn route. And there we go. Yeah, that stage is a pain. Yeah, not the best way to end the playthrough. I was kind of hoping I could get an S rank on both of these, but sadly we can't. Let's at least try and get one for the final boss. So, yay! That's all the silver medals in the game. I think there's like 380 in all. That is every silver medal. Now let us never speak of them again. Until we get to the medal hunting in Unleashed. Which really makes me glad that these ones don't do anything. But anyway. That is the final level. All that awaits us now is Solaris himself.